no. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Pow day.
Dude, let's go.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live from BroncoNationNews.com is presented by RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing? Happy Wednesday to you here at Bronco Nation News Live at BroncoNationNews.com. It's Wednesday, and with the bye week going on for the basketball team this week, we thought it's a perfect time to get Brad back on and talk some football. We had signing day last week. We got a couple weeks till spring ball, some kind of news and notes and odds and ends and things, but this is certainly your chance to ask Brad a question if you have one. And Brad, we appreciate you jumping on. I gave you like a 5-minute notice last week that I couldn't have you on, and so I still apologize for that. But how you doing, man? Happy Wednesday.
Good. No, it's no big deal. Just glad to get back on and talk about things that are possibly going on. Coach is getting some time off. Basketball gets the win over New Mexico. I think it was, wasn't it? No. Who did they play? I was at the game.
They've won 4 in a row. They just played San Jose State last Friday, yes.
Oh,
weren't you at that game?
Yeah. San Jose State's garbage. Did you see that dude? That guy was like 7'2". He comes out, hits the three early, and then just falls and folds like a lawn chair and doesn't have another point. And I'm like, damn. But the big Paulie center, he needs to be playing left tackle somewhere for San Jose State.
What was the comment you made to me as you walked by, not knowing that there's a lot of timeouts in a football game, it seems like, but for some reason, Brad, you thought there were a lot of timeouts in basketball.
Oh my God. Like you said, you invite every 4 minutes. You want to talk about speeding up a game? Holy cow.
The basketball game takes 2 hours. We're talking 3.5 hours for a football. Football can't say nothing about timeouts on a basketball game.
Yes, I can. I can say anything.
On,
but every 4 minutes, it's like, oh my God. And then the San Jose State coach walks away from the team, gathers his thoughts, it seemed like 20 minutes, and then comes in and says, okay, get open. We're going to give you the ball. All right, ready, break.
And they lost by 27.
1-4. And so,
they got a big game Saturday at San Diego State. I'll be heading down to San Diego on Friday, so getting out of the snow here. Nice timing weather-wise to get out of Boise for a few days. Got the big game San Diego State on Saturday, and then New Mexico that you mentioned is next Wednesday. They have a home game against New Mexico. That'll be a massive game coming up here moving forward. But you mentioned coaches getting some time off. You mentioned there's just some different kind of things going on with the players still doing the winter workouts and everything. I saw Stacey Collins post that the linebackers had a little Topgolf tournament last night. So you get some workouts, some team building stuff, get all the new players acclimated, and then March 10th will be the first spring practice. I do want to throw something in there real quick. I tweeted about this yesterday. There was some confusion with Cam Camper, Brad, about his eligibility and, was he going to stay or go? And originally he was supposed to be done. And then that ruling for Pavia came out and they said, oh, if you play JUCO, you get an extra year. So Marion McCoy said he's coming back, for another year. And a lot of people thought Cam Camper might do the same. And then Cam Camper declares for the NFL draft. And then yesterday he posted something about South Florida, either offering or visiting or something. And there was some confusion and people wondering, why is he going down to South? Why would he, that's not a better situation. South Florida to Boise State. What's going on? I did a little digging, Brad, and based on the interpretation that, the NCAA has and Boise State has and a lot of people have, he's not eligible for college football anymore because he has already played 5 seasons. He had a redshirt season in there as well. A lot of people just thought it was some blanket waiver that if you played junior college, you got an extra year, and that's not necessarily how it's written. So Marion McCoy played 2 years of JUCO, 2 years at Boise State, and they gave him a waiver for another year next year. But Cam Camper, I don't know if he's getting bad information from, parents, agents. I don't know if he's trying to hold out hope that there's another waiver he can get. So he's still trying to see if schools want him or what. But my understanding is this was a case of, based on paper, him not having any eligibility left. And that's why Boise State didn't really try to keep him around here. Nothing more than that.
Yeah. I don't believe he didn't lose a year for injury, right?
He used some sort of, he did use a red shirt at some point. I believe it was just a regular red shirt though.
Right. I mean, the only time
it was because of an injury, I think, but it was less than 4 games and he hadn't redshirted yet. So I think I don't know all the details on that, but yes.
Yeah, I don't know. The only thing I can think of is South Florida or somebody in his camp is saying that we're going to do an injury waiver and see what happens. So I think I can think of, and when you do that, and Boise
and as
State's,
anything can happen with waivers. There's always waivers for something, like maybe he does get one, and then Boise State was wrong. He has another year left, whatever. But everybody I've talked to, multiple people think that there is currently in the current landscape right now, he has no years left, and there is no waiver that would give him another year. He is not in the same ruling as the Pavia ruling because he already played his 5 years. So It wasn't a case that Boise State didn't want him or they didn't offer him enough NIL or. Of course, Boise State, if Cam Camper had eligibility left, would love to have had Cam Camper back. They would have found a way to try to take care of him like they did every other player on the roster that wanted to stay for the most part. And so I just think that there was a little bit of like, what's going on behind the scenes? Why didn't Boise State want him? And why would he leave to go to USF? Like, nope. I think it was a case of, they don't think not just Boise State. A lot of people don't think he has any eligibility left. Maybe an NIL agent or something's trying to get in there and make some more money, or a coach or a parent, high school coach thinks he still does. Like you said, maybe you just give it a shot, see if there's a school that'll take you and then give you some money and try for a waiver. I don't know, but I just wanted to clarify that a little bit because yesterday that was kind of out there when he posted a graphic with a South Florida Bulls logo on it or something. And so that was since deleted, by the way. He deleted that. So I don't know what, but Boise State's first game is against South Florida. So that had some people riled up. And, but my understanding is unless there's a waiver that nobody knows exists right now and the NCAA changes another rule right now, Cam Camper is not eligible for college football.
Well, I'd be very interested to see if he's enrolled. If he's in classes, like if he's in classes in South Florida.
Well, we don't even know if that was an offer or a commitment or it was just a weird graphic that had South Florida on it. Nobody could really tell what it meant.
Oh, well, I'll tell you this right now. Cam Camper would love to be on the blue. I guarantee that. And, there's a lot of diligence that goes into these waivers, right? It's not like you just don't throw it in and go, okay, we're just going to hope to get you a waiver. It goes through compliance. Compliance will look it over and they'll say, hey, there's no chance we're going to get you this waiver. I mean, I don't see it happening. And so then you have to have that hard conversation saying, hey, we can't get you the waiver. We don't feel that the waiver is even feasible. you're more than welcome to try. But it's just not going to be here, and we can't fight for the waiver. So if he makes that decision, then he wants in South Florida or wherever the hell he's going is going to give him the glimmer of hope and grasp a straw. I mean, why not? Gets their logo out there. It's, hey, we got a guy from a top 10 football program that committed to us or whatever. But all of a sudden now it catches heat. He takes it down, right? So, he's already going to, the declare for the National Football League. That's a whole nother confusing aspect because now you have young men that, I'm declaring for the NFL draft. Well, you don't have a choice. You have to declare for the NFL draft. You have no more eligibility. So let's not get it twisted. It's not like, back in the day, the junior says, hey, I'm going to forego my senior season and declare for the National Football League. Okay, cool. You could have come back. You decided to go to the NFL. Now it's like, I'm going to officially declare for the NFL draft because I don't have a choice. So he declares because he didn't have a choice.
Yep. Which is all these seniors. I mean, I love them, but like all these guys that literally are done, all these post these graphics that they're declaring for the draft. Like, well, yeah, that's cool. Great. Good luck. But what else were you going to do? You don't have any eligibility left. So that's why I don't really report on a lot of those just because they are. But it's a cool moment for the kid. It's a lifelong dream to declare for the draft. I get it.
I hear you. I think
we got a lot to get.
Hold on.
Go ahead,
I forgot what school. How great was that when I am declaring for a full-time job? You can find me on LinkedIn. I mean, that's a kid that I want. If I was an NFL team, like, okay, I want to look at that kid a little bit. I mean, he's got a little stuff to him, right? He understands that he may not play in the National Football League, but when he said, I'm declaring for full-time work and you could find me on LinkedIn, I'm like, okay, I love that kid.
Well, we have a lot to get to with Brad. I want to get into kind of this time of February and what goes on for coaches and getting ready for spring ball and some of that. But Austin Bolt is going to join us here in a couple minutes. He's a late addition to the program. Austin Bolt, Boise State wide receiver, is going to jump on here in a few minutes and talk to us about what they got going on in terms of the offseason and him coming back and being ready. And he was a guy that stepped up and had a big year, finally healthy last year, and I think has a bright future here. But I have a trivia question in the chat real quick. Does anybody know what happened in Arcadia, California on this date? Way back in, I don't know if I should age this gentleman, but anybody have any idea what happened in Arcadia, California on this date? We'll just go back in 1977. Come on. Maybe I have a gift card or something if anybody has the answer in the chat here. Brad Bedell is smiling with a small grin there. I don't want to wait too long. Have anybody pop it up? What?
1980.
All right.
Where did you get that picture? Oh my God! I can hear my wife laughing. Hey, I tell you what, that's a cute son of a gun right there. Boy, is he not aging well, and he's gotten about 4 chins on top of the one he's got right now.
And who would have thought he would go on to be the 206th pick in the 2000 NFL draft and everything you did playing in the NFL, coaching at some great places, everything else you have done and are still doing, Brad. But little birdie told me it was your birthday. So happy birthday, sir. And we appreciate you as always for your help with BNN here.
I appreciate it. I'll tell you what, that I was smiling like I was about to get a cheeseburger, wasn't I? Yeah, no, I appreciate it. It's a great day, and I cannot believe I'm turning 39.
That's
So, anyways, for the record,
I'm
48, going on 12.
Wikipedia is never wrong. So
as many people can attest to this. Yeah, I don't quite always act my age.
Well, it's been great to get to know you these last couple of years and having you on BNN. So happy birthday. Just wanted to throw that on there. But we are going to go to our man, Austin Bolt. He's nice enough to jump on for a few minutes, wide receiver for the Boise State football team. We got Austin Bolt joining us. There he is. Austin, what's up, man? How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
We're doing great, man. Appreciate you jumping on the show. And give us the lowdown, man. It's early February. I'm sure these 6 a.m. workouts kind of suck when it's this cold outside and the snow and the season feels so far away probably. But what's it like nowadays for you and guys on the team?
Yeah, it's definitely cold, but luckily there's an indoor. But yeah, no, it's we definitely got a chip on our shoulder after the Fiesta Bowl. So, we just got done with the team meeting and stuff, and we're all on the same page that, just because Ashton's gone, this team, we still have a standard to be, back in that Fiesta Bowl and that college playoff. So, we're all pretty, the first couple months of these workouts or, first couple weeks have been, really, really cool to see all the transfers come in, all the freshmen that are coming in early to kind of see and pick up like the culture and stuff and kind of see what they got. So it's been really good for this team.
Maybe the most important question from Robbie Robinson. Austin, did you ever find the truck?
I did not, sadly. No, the truck is long gone.
You mean I didn't deliver that thing back to you?
No, sadly not.
But insurance helped out, right? You got a new vehicle or you got taken care of somehow.
Yeah. No, the insurance actually gave me more money than the truck was worth, so kind of worked out at the end.
There you go. What's
Yeah.
how do you look? We were just talking about Cam Camper leaving a few minutes ago, and obviously Prince leaving. Like, I know Latrell's back, but how do you look at yourself now in that wide receiver room? And you look around and see a lot of younger guys, and a lot of guys that don't have a ton of production stuff, and you're going to have a big weight on your shoulders this year to be one of the main guys, and really seems like a chance for. I know you had a breakout season last year, but maybe now take it to that elite level this year. How do you just kind of look at yourself and your outlook going into the season?
Yeah, it's definitely a great opportunity for all of us receivers to kind of, huge load is going to get put onto either me, Trell, and some new guys or some guys who haven't got any experience. Losing Ashton too, we're not going to be running the ball with him 400 times this year. So that's, come more opportunities than that. So Coach Miller has done a really great job kind of just like motivating us, saying, look, there's a huge load that someone else needs to pick up, or, there's opportunities for everyone in this room to pick up. So, during this offseason, it's just huge to see, who's ready to compete for these spots, because we have to fill 1 or 2 or 3 roles that, the offense lost this year. So it's really just made in the receiver room right now to kind of see who's ready to compete this, spring ball, to kind of see who wants that spot the most.
Right. Hey, real quick, because I'm glad you said it, and you've been around me and things, and you know me pretty well.
Yeah.
And you said this actually at the jump, which I'm really impressed with, is with the transfers that are coming in and the portal world that we're sitting in, and with Boise State being a culture first outfit, right?
Yeah.
How important is that to get the transfers in there and not sit them down, but within that, your room, right? Everybody's got to run your own room and sit down and go, hey, this is the way we do things here. So you have to adapt to our room. We're not adapting to you. Wherever you came from, it's awesome. We love to have you, but you understand this is the way we do business. So how does that conversation go on, and how do you hold them accountable to you guys you're coming into a top 10 football program, right? Yeah. So how do you, as a leader of that room, a returning guy, ready to break out like BJ and be elite? So how does that happen?
Yeah, so first, Coach Danielson does a really good job on, just, telling them right away. Like, whoever he recruits, he's pretty blunt, saying, like, this is how we work here. Like, this isn't, like, nothing we're going to, you're not going to get something, everything's earned. So they have a little bit taste of it. But, yeah, like me and Latrell, we've been in here since, 2020. So we're the old guys of the team, basically. So we've had, a bunch of great athletes and great, players that have came through here. Like, Shakir was a receiver in that room. So just kind of holding to that standard, kind of like, we're working every second of the day. You don't get an off day just because your body's a little sore. Like, that's not what this is about. This is, we're blue collar. Like, we're going to get after it. Like, I get the season just ended, but, this is how you start up a new season. It's like right now, it's not wait until fall camp where you can finally prove yourself. No, you're proving yourself every single day in this workout. And, like I said, Coach Danielson, Coach Miller, Coach Potter, like all these coaches that are bringing these transfers and freshmen in, like they do a really good job kind of getting a feel for these guys and kind of bringing in guys that, they think that they see potential about them being able to buy into this program. So when they come in here and they see older guys, or they see guys like, even Tubner last year, he was a big inspirational story for a lot of guys who are walk-ons, like seeing guys like that and having like proof of evidence that if you work your ass off here, like you're going to get rewarded. So just kind of seeing that. And then, like I said, we're having a bunch of guys coming back too from starting roles, kind of, implying that to everyone who comes in this thing. And like the first couple of days of workouts, if you're not, finishing through the line, if you're not, stopping at the line, if you're not stopping with the right foot, like you're going to get called out and you're going to have a rough couple of days, and, you're going to be probably at the trash can throwing up here soon.
Awesome. Bolt, our guest. Go ahead, Brad.
No, I think that's important. Everybody can run a route, right? I mean, everybody can can run a route. Everybody can learn the tree. Everybody can dive into the offense. That's going to happen. You can't run around. You're not going to touch the field on a workout unless you buy into the culture of a football program.
Yeah.
And I agree with you 100% with Spence and Matt and Potter and Keene and all those guys. The vetting process through the recruitment is important because you're trusting those guys to come into your room to build and get you better, right?
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, last season was awesome. I congratulate you guys. Awesome. But that's over.
Yeah.
I mean, now this team gets to put a mark. Now you can be the leader of the room going in. How important is it going to be to make your mark and go, let's get back to the playoff, right? That wasn't a one-hit wonder. And we had everyone's talking about Ashton. Ashton's done. He can't play anymore, right?
Yeah.
And so how is that in the room? Are you guys mainly talking about how we're going to leave our mark and last year's over, or is there a continuation of last year?
Yeah, no, we've definitely talked about that. Last year's definitely over. We're not going to have we have good running backs still, but Ashton Genty, is a generational talent that you don't really come across every single season. So, Miller's done a great job. Even like our GA, JG, he's done a great job. Like when Miller's gone, kind of implementing we have to be the elite core of this offense because we're not going to be running the ball.
Jeez, he's in the
there you go. Sorry, someone called me. But so we just we're implementing that this is our offense to kind of take control this year. If we want this team to be taken off again and be in that playoffs, we're gonna have to upgrade our role and kind of be the main point of this role. So having Miller and them in our room and telling us that every single day, it's like I said, us receivers right now are very we're very motivated because last year, it was all about the run game saving this offense. So we kind of have a chip on our shoulder too as receivers that we're going to take a step to make this offense what it was last year, but in a different way when it comes to receiving.
Well, I want to ask you a question about yourself again in a minute, but since you brought up the team and, Dirk Cutter being gone now, and again, Austin Bolt joining us for a couple more minutes here on Bronco Nation News. What I know you haven't practiced or anything, but what conversations have you guys had with Nate Potter now as OC and some of the, title changes for Matt and, Miller and some of these guys? And just how do you look at the offense in terms of how it might be different, how it might be the same? I know you mentioned, Ashton's not here, but obviously you're still going to run the ball, some. But what do you guys envision, or what have you been told in terms of what might change or be the same about the offense?
Yeah, no, we're excited. Coach Potter, he said that it's not going to be a one-man show with him. Miller's going to help him out, obviously. Coach Keene's going to help him out still. But, creativity. I think where he was kind of with BSU with some of the good years. He was an offensive tackle that obviously made it to the league and had a very successful career here and in the league. So he knows a lot of the offense. He knows some offensive schemes. He has some plays. He's played for offensives here that have been creative. So he wants to go back to kind of a fun, creative offense again. He wants us to help him out. He wants us to.
To cut the feed.
He looked over. He looked at Potter was Potter said you were saying too much right there, man. They cut you off. Yeah.
Yeah, Potter was about to slap the whatever out of you.
Yeah, I know, but he's very open-minded right now because this is his first OC job. So obviously, he has his foundations, he has things that he very much believes in, but obviously he's very open to anyone who wants to have input. If if you want to have a part of the offense, if you have something that he doesn't see, obviously he's very open doors. So come talk to him and stuff like that. But no, he seems very excited to, we're still, BSU's always been a running heavy offense, very physical play style of football. So he's not going to lose that, but he wants to bring some creativity back and some fun to Boise.
Not to, I'm not asking you to be negative towards previous coaches. You don't have to, whatever, but you just think about the culture right now and what Brad's talking about, but you think about the coaching staff that you have and just the feeling this last, 16 months around the program. And, in particular, the fact that none of the coaches left. You guys knew Dirk Cutter was going to retire, but not a single other coach on the staff left. They all stayed. You all players, for the most part, stayed when you all may have had some other opportunities. Just what's the vibe in there like? The fact that all the players, all the coaches, everybody still wanted to run this thing back next year. It just seems like it's for me covering the team now 13 years, it's a feeling that I don't really remember previously. Just the vibe and the upward trajectory it seems that this program has right now.
Yeah, like I said, I've been this is my third head coach technically. So yeah, I've been through a lot of coaching changes. 4 or 5 OCs now. Having a set, whole coaching staff through the whole off seasons. Just kudos to Coach Danielson again. Like, he's very much a family guy, and he makes us feel like a family. If you're a coach that, if you've been around Coach Danielson, you've coached with him, like, you want to play with him, you want to play for him. Like, he's made that a fact. Us players, he's made it home. He makes us feel like a home, like not a job. Like, he doesn't make it feel like you want to dread to come here at 6 a.m. He wants you to like want to come in here and get better and have fun. Like, it's something that we get to do now. It's not like we have to do now or we need to check off a box. Like, he makes it feel like this is something that we get. Like, we get the opportunity and we want to compete with each other every single day here at 6 a.m., at 8 a.m., whenever they call us to do it. And Coach Danielson, he's done a very great job to kind of turn that script around here for BSU from the last couple of years. And, it's been something that it's helped me, want to play football. It's helps everyone who, was going through a struggling time when we had all those coaching changes, like, find that love and joy for Boise State football again, because like I said, we were going through a couple, big coaching changes, head coaches, a lot of coaching changes throughout the offense and defense. So, Coach Danielson's really brought back like the family tradition here at BSU that makes everyone want to stay here. Like, we got Coach Male back again after he left for a year. Like, he wanted to come back, obviously. When we saw him last year at Washington State, like, he was like, dang, like, I do miss you guys. Like, I do miss being at that place. We got him back in the offseason. So it's like Coach Danielson's done a great job just bringing people back and making people want to stay or come back here. So it's, kudos to that guy.
I got one more, Brad, then you can jump in if you got anything else. But I will say this, Austin, I mean, you look at your stats last year, I would have thought it was more, to be honest. I look up, it's 16 catches, 196 yards, 4 touchdowns, but it felt at times you were more involved and maybe you're at least out there a lot. But what was last year like for you? And finally to have a year where you could get out there and contribute. And I think you started 6 games, and I know your injury past is well documented, but to finally be, another year removed from that and be able to get out there and contribute. And you mentioned the Fiesta Bowl. I mean, not many people can say they have multiple catches in a Fiesta Bowl. I mean, that's pretty cool. And so just what on a personal level, what did last year mean to you? But also, how much does that motivate you to know where you can take your game?
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Like I said, my Boise State, like my parents' house, like my room at their house is still painted BSU. So being able to go and watch, I've been watching every Fiesta Bowl that we've been to that I was born. I was, when I was a kid, I'm pretty sure Coach Pete pulled me into the locker room as one of those little kids. So, it's so real just being able to be actually like a part of this stuff, like actually be able to catch touchdowns on the blue, being experienced that feeling that I was, a part of when I was a kid, just being able to fan, now being able to do that. And then like for me, I was a big blocking receiver. I'd block DNs, tight ends. As a tight end, I would be blocking linebackers and safeties. So for us, all of us receivers were kind of built like that. Like Tro was doing the same thing. Chase Penry, he'd go in there and do a rim block on a D end or safety. So it's just kind of seeing Ashton, getting those 2,200 yards is kind of like us receivers had a huge part of that, blocking downfield or blocking linebackers. So for me, that was kind of a big part. So yeah, maybe I wasn't getting the ball when it came to like catching the ball, but for me, being on the field and able to block for Ashton and watch him up front and close was pretty cool. So that was kind of a big thing. And yeah, I'm just excited for, like as Miller said, it's more opportunities for everyone this year in the offense to catch the ball and make plays. So, I
mean, you had 16 catches? I mean, what is 40 too much to ask for? 50? I mean, what I don't know if you've already set goals for next year, but I mean, I think you're a guy that should be catching 3, 4, 5 a game next year, it would seem like, right?
Yeah, no, that's definitely something in the talk. So yeah, we have a great tight end, Tro's back. So we have, hopefully us 3 could be a good, 3-headed monster right there. But yeah, no, I'm excited. Hopefully that's the plan of getting like 3, 4, 5 catches a game at least. Having definitely a bigger role in the offense when it comes to passing, and obviously still we're a run first offense. So, I still want to go crack down a safety or linebacker or D end. It was fun.
Opens up a play action game, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So don't go into scheme because I don't want to get your butt in trouble.
Yeah.
Coming out of this, right? Let's fast forward. You're coming out of spring ball. In that room, what are 3 things that you think that room, your room, the wide receiver room, needs to take the next step at to get Boise State back in the top 10? Don't talk scheme.
Yeah, I was thinking separation when it comes to route running. I feel like giving Mad Dog more of a variety instead of making like those, pinpoint throws. He has a little more leniency when we're, separation. I feel like down the field throws, I think we all need to make more plays when it comes to balls past like the 30-yard, like that are go balls or post. So those are probably the two biggest things, is separation in that. And then also I just think like everyone being contributing when it comes to like knowing the offense completely, whether you're a freshman to, you know, a transfer coming in as like a 4th-year guy, just kind of knowing the scheme and helping each other out. And like I said, kind of playing for each other. Cause I know there's a lot of position, like there's a lot of opening in the receiver room right now, losing Prince and Camper. So, you know, making sure everyone's still playing for each other and not competing against each other. So whoever gets their roles, you know, cheer each other on and not, you know, be each other's biggest enemies, you know, just keep on cheering each other on. But yeah, separation and probably deep balls are the biggest two things that we would say.
I agree.
Well, Austin, we appreciate you jumping on, man. I mean, it seems like a long ways away to that South Florida game to kick off next season. But I mean, you guys got the Notre Dame game. You got some other big games. I mean, it's got to be a exciting feeling just to be building off this year. But like you said, start fresh and see if this is a team that can get back there. And I mean, you tasted it once, you made history, whatever, but it sounds like that wasn't good enough. And you guys are pretty motivated to take that next step this year.
Yeah, no, yeah, we're all very excited. And yeah, thank you for having me on the show. And yeah, we're excited to go out in South Florida, but yeah, we got a lot of work to do in for the next couple months.
Well, what are we, 3.5 weeks from the start of spring ball? I mean, it's crazy. It's going to be here. Yeah. It's only a couple of weeks away. So we'll see you guys out there shortly, and appreciate you for jumping on, Austin.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one. And happy birthday again, by the way.
Thanks, bud. Appreciate you, man.
No problem. See ya.
See you, Austin. There he is, Austin Bolt. Appreciate him for jumping on. Good kid, Brad. Cool story. Local guy, you know, Bora High legend. And you heard, you know, even his bathroom in his house is still painted, you know, with Boise State stuff in his room. And always see his dad at the games wearing one of those Chinese-made Bolt 81 jerseys, you know, and you know, always he's always you know, as diehard of a fan as there is, and you know, always love shaking Mr. Bolt's hand and seeing him at the games. But to see and just to think about the multiple significant injuries that he's had to go through. I mean, bad leg break and just some of the stuff that's really held him back. It felt like he got his feet, you know, wet again, 16 catches, finally got through a whole season healthy. And it really does feel like, you know, I know folks are upset about losing Prince and losing Cam Camper, but you look at the size of Austin Bolt, the speed of Austin Bolt, what he can do. And I'm not just saying that because he just came on the show. It does seem like he's ready to emerge as, you know, one of the better wide receivers in the conference.
No, I would agree with you. And I also think and some of the things he said is what you can do with Austin formationally can really put some mismatches on people. And, you know, that's where I'm excited to see Potter and see Potter and Keene and all those guys, Zach Hill, all those guys, look at what they can do formationally to create mismatches that they're going to have to be a little bit more inventive because they can't just hand the ball off to the Heisman Trophy finalist, right? Now, you know, I love Austin, and if we had more time, I'd also let's not forget that you got a very good running back room, right? So yes. It's not, you know, I mean, I think now you're really going to play that 50-50 game, and they have to get more explosive. You're going to have to make up, and I don't have the number, I haven't really studied it that much, but you have to make up a significant amount of explosive plays that Ashton Jeanty got you in the run game. That has to be made up somewhere. And I love the fact what he said. We need to improve on down the field throws. I think that is a young man that has studied last season, that they've gone into the room with the coaches and they've studied it and said, okay, we've got to get better at the passing game plus 30, right? So 50-50 balls. Those got to come to Boise now to create more explosive plays next season, because there is going to be a deficiency in explosive plays. It's just natural coming off of a year, like you said, a generational running back. So in separation, you didn't see a lot of separation at times last year. So I think you want to talk about a great young man that could be a great leader in that room and has an understanding of the culture of Boise State, what Spencer wants to do, and a great voice for a room that this is what we got to get done coming out of spring. He's already thought about it. And then you take it from there.
We are celebrating the birthday of Brad Bedell here on Bronco Nation News Live on a Wednesday edition here on BroncoNationNews.com. Our title sponsor is RowPaint.com. And I got a couple other topics to throw at you here momentarily, Brad, but do need to thank a couple of our great sponsors that help pay your massive salary here to be a part of Bronco Nation News and BroncoNationNews.com. RowPaint.com, our title sponsor. All your concrete coatings, your interior, exterior painting. make sure you hit up our title sponsor at rowpaint.com. They're coming out to touch up some drywall and repaint one of our rooms here next week. In the process, getting the estimate and approving it online and picking out the paint color, everything was super easy. So I highly recommend our title sponsor, rowpaint.com. Hey, TacoBellWorks.com, the SON Management Group, the Nicolason family. Appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News. They are hiring at Taco Bell, one of the Treasure Valley Taco Bell locations. So you can get more information, TacoBellWorks.com, to apply for a job, or just go into one of the local Treasure Valley Taco Bell locations. They've got the paperwork to sign up for a job right there when you walk in. And while you're there, try some of their, the chalupas, the tacos, the gordita crunches, everything they have there, the nachos Belgrande, the Lux Cravings bowls, the Cantina bowls, Lux Cravings box, I should say, all the great food and options at Taco Bell. The slushies are maybe my kids' favorite part. I can get 2 cheesy roll-ups for like $2 and a slushie, and my kids are as happy as can be. So it's cheap and it's delicious. Hit up one of our major sponsors here, Taco Bell. Hey, Idaho Central Credit Union, tonight, 8 p.m., we'll have another episode of the Tyson Degenhardt Show. Alvaro Cardenas is going to join us live and working on a second guest as well. So tonight at 8 o'clock, come on back to Bronco Nation News for the Tyson Degenhardt Show, presented by Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest, that mobile eBranch online banking right there in your smartphone. Make the switch to ICCU today. You'll be super happy that you did. And again, Idaho Central Credit Union presents the Tyson Degenhardt Show tonight at 8 p.m. on Bronco Nation News. Hey, Jackson's, $2 for a hot dog and a fountain drink at Jackson's with the Let's Go Rewards app. When the Broncos score 70 points, you get a hot dog and a soda for $2. They also have 99-cent coffee with Let's Go Rewards anytime. Anytime you want coffee, 99 cents when you use your Let's Go Rewards app. So go get some coffee, go get a soda, hot dog once the Broncos score 70. Anytime you're looking for any kind of snacks, and, of course, gas, make sure you hit up our major sponsor at Jackson's. Hey, Snake River Pool and Spa, patio and game. Whether you're looking for a spa, maybe a sauna, maybe a pool table for the game room, they got you covered. Visit their locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. Been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team. View their full inventory and options online at thespateam.com. The Raines family is loving our spa. It was perfect last night in the cold. The kids went out there and got in for a while. We were watching some basketball on TV. So thespateam.com. Highly recommend you visit one of their 4 locations or their website, thespateam.com. And our friends over at the Blue and Orange store remind you of the Bronco basketball jerseys, the coaches' sideline apparel, sweatshirts, caps, you name it. They got it for you at the Blue and Orange store. Online, theblueandorangestore.com. You can order from anywhere in the world. Or if you're in the Boise area, just go to the Boise Town Square Mall, the second floor next to Perimage. We appreciate Travis Hawks and company for their continued support. Return the favor, folks. I know you got a lot of options to go get Boise State gear. Do it at the Blue and Orange store. All right, Brad, I was talking about the continuity of the coaching staff. I asked Austin about it there, but, Spencer Danielson came on our show a couple days ago, last Thursday, I believe, and talked about 7 or 8 coaches having job offers to leave and go elsewhere, and none of them did. For a team that went to the playoff, I mean, it sounds easy. Oh, great, they got all the coaches back. But you've been a part of a lot of different staffs, guys coming, guys going. What does it mean? Everyone knew Dirk Cutter was leaving, so that was kind of a given. And obviously there were some staff promotions that I think a lot of people knew were coming for a while, too. So I know there's some new offensive guys maybe in different roles. But in terms of the entire defensive staff being back, the entire offensive staff, keeping James Montgomery, keeping Tim Keene, the scheme, the coaches are all, I know it's going to change a little bit because some of the roles are different, but to other than Dirk Cutter, not lose a single full-time coach from a team that went to the Fiesta Bowl and made the college football playoff and was ranked in the top 10. How rare is that? How unique is that? And specifically take us inside, the coaches' meeting rooms and just the huddle, so to speak, and what does that allow this staff to do? What does it allow the players to do when you have literally the entire staff and that continuity back for another year?
Well, I think number one, it's very rare. I mean, if you just look at the college landscape right now, coaches leave just to leave. They leave because their buddy got a job and they want to go work for their buddy, or they get the big promotion and get more money. So that's just weird. To keep everybody is a great job by Spencer. Now, the coaches going into, let's go to the coaches meetings first, is everybody's been around each other. They know personalities. They know how they game plan. They know how they speak when you're evaluating recruiting. They know when you get in and watching spring ball that, hey, the buzzwords of no separation, or things like that. So everybody's just on the same page, and it just speeds everything up. And then you talk about with the players understand the style of coach in the room, what he's bringing in the room, what are the expectations of the room, what leadership roles he's bringing, how does he react to certain situations. All those, they don't have to go through a learning period when you get a new football coach. Now, the other thing is new football coaches come in, and if they come outside of the Boise tree, they don't really understand the Boise way, right? So then you got to get educated on the Boise way. And there is a way at Boise. There is not, it doesn't work everywhere. So you can't come in and, well, we did it here. I don't give a rat's ass what you did. Doesn't matter to us what you did. You got to Boise. We hired you from Boise. So you bring in a Zach Hill, who understands the Boise way, very good quarterback coach, really good offensive coordinator, very smart mind, great for Nate Potter, and just another person in that room to have ideas, to have different route concepts, the way maybe he reads it differently, to have great conversations to get the team better. And so whenever you don't have to bring in a bunch of coaches and it just seems like it slows down a process when we're ready to go. We're not even in the slow lane anymore. Okay. When you get a whole bunch of new coaches, like, okay, we got to start in the slow lane because this is where you are in individual spring ball. This is where we do team. This is when we do walkthroughs. This is what we do here. It's just like now when you have an entire staff that's coming back, they're in the fast lane and it's gone. We're moving on. We're going. We're at 5,000 miles an hour right now. And if you've got to get your studies done, I want proof. I want you to explain it to the staff. I want you to present it the way it's going to be presented. And so I think it just helps kids get better, faster, understand the deficiencies. Remember, when you get a new coach, when he walks into that room, he has to reevaluate the entire year, player by player. What are his deficiencies? What does he have to get better at? Where now it's like, no, I'm having a meeting. You need to get better at X, Y, and Z if you want to touch the field. Right? And so now you don't have to do any of that. It's fast lane, fast lane, fast lane.
Well, I also was encouraged hearing from Austin Bolt there and speaking to the staff about, Nate Potter wanting to get creative and wanting, we're not going to run the ball 400 times with Ashton Genty. I think a lot of people, Brad, fans, media, whatever, we don't know how it works. We're not in the room, but you see a Nate Potter get hired and, a former offensive lineman and a former tight ends coach and someone that sat next to and learned from Dirk Cutter last year. And you just think, okay, they're going to continue to run the ball, 75% of the time or whatever. And it's going to be very similar and not that exciting. And so, again, and I know that sounds like that's going to be wrong, but when he was first hired, that was kind of the first thing like, oh, okay, well, we'll see, we'll see, but it's going to probably be similar to last year. But to hear him say the creativity part, to hear him say, hey, no, they've told us we're not running the ball 400 times or whatever. Like what do you envision from a Nate Potter offense? And it does sound like, even though it's a lot of the same coaches here, that, these guys are going to come together and the offense, at least from that quote right there, sounds like it's going to look a little bit different.
Right. I also think, yes, but you have to now. It's not, I think, let's say, I'm going to answer it in two different ways. Let's say Dirk Cutter was back, right? Let's just take that for example. I also think Coach Cutter would have to go in and reevaluate this football team because you don't have Genty anymore, right? So now Nate Potter's going to come in and they're all going to get together and go, guys, we don't have him anymore. So how are we going to make up, like I said, for all the production? Okay, we can't expect to hand the ball off to a running back 40 times a game. We can't do that right now. So now what do we have to do? We got to create separation. In order to create separation is get inventive in formations. Do things like that and get in there and get all the minds in there and be creative, shift, motion, things like that. And I think that's what's going to be exciting. I said this when Nate Potter was hired. I was like, I think this is an unbelievable hire because I know how smart Nate is. I know how smart Nate is. Nate, and the one thing about this is, and I understand, it'd be one thing if Nate was coaching the offensive line. I don't know if all offensive coordinators are great offensive line coaches. It's because you're so in tune with a game of five guys getting them on the same page. They kind of like, oh, by the way, we got a quarterback that needs fixing, right? So it's hard for a true line coach to be a coordinator. Andy Reid's one I could think of that was unbelievable. right? Mike Sherman was unbelievable. Tom Cable was good. A lot of them just don't work out. But Nate, remember, he was the tight ends. He's been a lot of the passing games and things like that, where that's where he's grown to become this offensive coordinator. And I have no reservations saying that I think Nate Potter is going to be unbelievable. And I think you look at Spencer and what he did with the promotions, and they were doing the same stuff last year. They just didn't have the title, right? Where you've got Matt, offensive coordinating experience. Zach Hill, offensive coordinating experience. Tim Keene did a great job of the run game. Well, Potter was the run game coordinator last year, right? I know Keene and them they did it together, right? They always do it together. Just Potter had the title. So I think that this the learning curve with Potter is calling it. But I think that with Matt and with Zach Hill having calling it experience, that's where they can all get together and go, hey, what do you think here? What do you think here? And I think a lot of those things can be fixed is when you get into spring, don't script it. Hey, team period's a call it session right now. Potter, you got it. Call it. Right? And then as you do that, you're actually gaining the momentum and giving him live experience, even though it could be a scrimmage or a team period. No, you're going upstairs, you're calling it. We're not scripting this. Okay, you can script your first 10 plays like a game, and then you're calling it. Third down, you're calling it. Short yardage, you're calling it. So now it's getting Potter to create how he wants his call sheets and making him call in scrimmages and team and getting everybody on the headset and getting the whole staff used to Potter calling it, how he's going to call it, and things like that. So I think you can do it in all spring, fall camp, and then he'll be perfectly fine and ready to go during the season.
Well, I have one final topic I want to discuss with you that you just brought up there, but before we get out of here real quick, but I do have a couple more sponsors I need to thank real quick. Lithia Ford of Boise, you can view them online at lithiafordboise.com. lithiafordboise.com, they got NIL deals with some new football players. They just added a softball player the other day, so they're stepping up in the NIL game. Return the favor for your next car or truck purchase. Make it like the Raines family did at Lithia Ford of Boise. Hey, Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley yet again. He's now part of the Boise State home team. When you're ready to sell or buy your home, I know everybody has 4 or 5 friends that are realtors, but if you want to get the best value for your deal, you need to hit up our friend Matt Bauscher online at BauscherRealEstate.com. Ridley's Family Markets, shop Ridley's.com, 13 locations across the state of Idaho, surrounding states, whether it's Magic Valley, Treasure Valley, McCall, you name it. Love that Cuno location, Middleton as well. Shop Ridley's.com and download that Skip app. Give savings up to 40% off at the checkout line at shoፕridleys.com. You looking for a job? How about transportation compliance service? Transcomservice.com can get you in the trucking industry every step of the way. DOT, overweight permits. It's a booming industry right now. So if you're ready to get out on the open road, let them help you out at Transcomservice.com. Brad, we're pushing almost 40 pounds down here thanks to Lean Feast. LeanFeastMeridian.com. I had 2 Lean Feasts yesterday, lunch and dinner. LeanFeastMeridian.com. Healthy meal options. They deliver anywhere in the Treasure Valley, any kind of diet. They can meet your needs, and it's fully customizable. So it's all fresh, not frozen. You say how much you want. It's done by the weight, and then it's good in your refrigerator for 5 days. Pop it in there for lunch, and 2 minutes in the microwave. You're eating steak, shrimp, chicken, and fish. Highly recommend Lean Feast. They're feeding the football team weekly, the basketball team. LeanFeastMeridian.com. Check them out, LeanFeastMeridian.com. And if you want to leave us a voicemail, we'll be happy to play it on an upcoming show. SpeakPipe.com/BNN is the website. SpeakPipe.com/BNN. That's brought to you by Signature Roofing, covering our community for more than 2 decades. MySignatureRoofing.com. Whether it's a re-roof, repair, an estimate, an inspection, they got you covered. All your roofing needs at MySignatureRoofing.com. We're back here for a couple more final minutes with the birthday boy, Brad Bedell. And Brad, one of the things I saw that's happening in terms, maybe this is a topic to save for another, really dive into in future shows, but I saw Nebraska is canceling their spring game because they don't want players to watch the film and see them. And I had heard that talking to some folks last year, like for a school like Boise State, why would a guy like Prince Strawn or someone that's, relatively unknown goes out there in the spring game and goes crazy. And then all of a sudden that spring portal opens up the next week. I know some of these staffs are massive and they literally have people just perusing spring game footage, I guess, to try to find players. I don't know, but what'd you make of that? Is the spring game in general, a lot of schools are calling it spring showcases, and it's becoming more of a just open practice and all this. I've always said I wish they could like play College of Idaho or something. I wish you could actually have a spring game against a real team. You don't think you could get 100,000 people to watch, Texas Notre Dame play a spring game? Like, it ain't gonna happen because of injury concerns and all that stuff. And you're not playing star players. Like, I get it, but I would have gone the other way with spring games, make it more important. But you get exhibition games in basketball, whatever. But the spring game, it seems like, has been becoming less and less important in recent years just because of social media and videos being out there and everything else. I mean, Ashton Genty played a couple plays last year, but it was two-hand touch when he was out there. I mean, what do you make of the future of spring games and this idea now that schools are going to be poaching guys off rosters based off how they do in spring games? And a guy like Sire Gaines, I don't know if you need him out there taking 15 carries in a spring game and letting schools see that on tape, but just your take on the spring game situation.
I think they're boring. Number one, you're going to run inside zone. You're going to run some out routes. You're going to run some deep routes. You're going to do non-tackling for a while. I think they're boring. I think one major thing when we were coaching, we tried to get all the TV copies of all the spring games because the cameras are so close, the microphones are so close, you can get people's snap counts. So we would study that, get their snap count, and be ready to go and go, okay, this is what we think their snap count is. This is what it was, so we'll have to confirm that in the game. I think a big difference between a Boise State spring game and a Nebraska spring game or the SEC spring game or the Big Ten spring game is those are nationally televised. So now you have somebody that is in a collective that just saw the Nebraska defensive end have 7 sacks in the spring game and go, hey, do you think we can get that kid? Yeah, let's offer him $2 million. So I think when those are nationally televised, I think a lot of people watching them think, yeah, let's go try to get this guy. So I think that I would change it. If I was in there, I would be like, nah, we're not doing that. Or we're going to do it. We're going to make it a spring showcase, and we're going to do some team. We're going to make it quarterback's not live. So anytime anybody I think is going to come remotely like a sack, I'm blowing a whistle. So I'm just not going to do it. And I'm going to tell the kids and tell the players, like, hey guys, this is what we're doing, and this is the reason why we're doing it. And just be upfront. I think where spring game is great for the fans. I think it's great for the fans to see the team. The kids like it because it's the last one and they're done. They have finals and get vacation. And so I just think we're going to go down this road of we're just not going to do it anymore. Because now, if you think about it, the SEC channel or network, whatever they want to call it, they play every spring game almost nonstop up to the season, right? And so everybody's recording it and saying, okay, what do they got? It's just the way it is. And I'm like, if I was that guy, I'm good. We're not doing that.
Well, we are, today's February 12th. We are literally we're like 25 days from the first spring practice. It is kind of crazy here. It's March 10th is the first spring practice. Obviously February being a shorter month. So we're 3 weeks from Monday, the first spring practice. So next week, Brad, maybe we have a big basketball game next Wednesday night, but I think we can still talk some football and have you on at least maybe for a shorter segment and get into kind of some other topics. And some people had some questions in the chat that we didn't quite get to here, but it never stops, right? It's football is a year-round thing. There's always things going on, teams doing something. Even when a coach gets a 4-day vacation, it's not really a full 4-day vacation. You're still texting and doing practice plans or recruiting or whatever else. So there's always football to talk about.
Yeah, think about it. There's still well over 1,000 kids in the portal. They're all active recruits. You can recruit them right now. So if it's a little bit of a dull time because school started and all that, but those kids they're banging on coaches and they're like, hey, what are you guys going to do? Oh, we may take a wide receiver. Oh, can I get there? Hey, and it's nonstop. They don't, it's cool. You get to lay by the pool, have a cold beer, decompress from the X's and O's side of it. You're thinking about your players, but your phone's always ringing. It never stops. Even a young man that is trying to plan his spring game or spring practice visits. Hey, coach, I want to come this date. Well, we're not practicing that date. Well, that's the date I got secured for Boise State. Okay, just alert you, we're not practicing, but we'll have workouts. So you good with that? Yeah, I'm good with that. All right, what date? You're coming here. Perfect. Then you got to relay that to the recruiting department. The recruiting department's going to get that on paper, put it in an Excel sheet, and then they're going to start pumping that out. It just, no, it never ends. And it's the way it is right now. And we do have another portal window that's going to open up. And so I guarantee the street agents are starting to throw out, hey, I think this guy's going to jump in the portal. And you keep him on your radar. That's what it is. Get him on your radar. Well, I know who he is. So it's just, it never ends, and it can get tiresome, and you hope you get the time to shut the phone off and go. And if they're at the beach, get your kids, go in the water, and then the phone's not going away. Just turn it on after a couple hours and then return your 70 texts and move on.
Well, happy birthday again, Brad. We appreciate you for jumping on. The Wikipedia was wrong. It said you were born in 77, but then it says 47 next to it. So they can't add there on Wikipedia, I guess. But
I'll get whoever did that. I don't know.
Arcadia High School. That's correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. The Fighting Arcadia High School. I don't know if they're Apaches anymore or if we changed that.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't been to Arcadia in years. My obviously my parents aren't with us anymore. So my brothers don't live in Arcadia, so I don't go.
Well, we appreciate your wife and our friend Kent Riddle for assisting with the photo. We tried to get a special guest on as well, but we couldn't quite pull it off on short notice. But we appreciate you for jumping on again. Happy birthday. Have a great day with the fam. And we'll do this again next Wednesday.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Brad Bedell, always appreciate him joining us. Appreciate all of you for joining us. Go support the sponsors. Go subscribe. We'll get back to the basketball talk with John Mallory tomorrow at 9 a.m. I think Mike Burns may join us as well. So we'll talk to you guys tomorrow, 9 a.m. Bronco Nation News Live here at BroncoNationNews.com.
Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, RowPaint.com. Our major sponsors, Idaho Central Credit Union, Taco Bell, Lithia Ford, the Blue and Orange Store, Jackson's, and our contributing sponsors, Signature Roofing, Western Collective, Snake River Pool and Spa, Transportation Compliance Service, Boucher Real Estate, Ridley's Family Markets, Circa Las Vegas, Lean Feast, and Timberstone Golf Course.